Hey, how are you doing? Welcome to our weekly webinar, weekly Sunday webinar. It is Sunday, the 3rd of August, 2025. So, just to quickly check, I need to know that if you can all hear me. It says that the microphone's working fine. Just put a Y in the chat. Just make sure that you can all hear. And yeah, all good, all good. Okay, excellent, very good. Now we do have, I've opened this up onto X and also onto YouTube as well, so it's going out, being shared live on there. But obviously it is on StreamYard itself. It's on StreamYard.com, so it is being recorded and it will be shared as well, put up and posted. Okay, so what we are going to do is we are going to go over the first part. Is going to be all about the actual debt remedy that we've been working on and researching, and showing you how you can actually do this for yourself. And I have shown little bits of it in the private group that we have, our own private group. What do you call it? Checkmate the Matrix. But we're just going to let everyone else have a look now, and I'm going to actually break it down properly, go over the legalities of it, the lawful side of it, all of the FCA guidelines, which is the Financial Conduct Authority, which everyone has to follow. All of the debt collectors have to follow, the banks and everything have to follow these guidelines. And, you know, they are quite strict with it. So, you know, you can, or the debt collectors, the banks, whatever it is, can actually be held to account if they start breaching these guidelines. So this will explain as, you know, we actually move forward, and I, you know, explain exactly what's what, because it has to be correct, and you have to follow the guidelines yourself as well when you're doing this. And also it'll explain to everybody why this works, so why you can use it for yourself. It's UK wide, all right. It is 100% covering, you know, England, Ireland, Scotland, well, Northern Ireland is what I mean, Wales, or the northern part of Ireland, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so it covers right across the board. It is the FCA, right? The Financial Conduct Authority. I mean, little bits of what we're going to show will show like GDPR, but again, it's covering everything and every buddy, so you don't have to worry about anything like that. All right. So it's all about now. Everybody must have heard of an IVA, okay, or a DMP, debt management plan, or something along those lines. Even like a DRO, you know, which is like coming on to like the government side, really. Then it's very, very limited. The rules are very sort of like strict. So has everybody heard of them? Just put yes, you know, if you've heard of that, you know, like either an IVA or a debt management plan, or, you know, you've heard of it, you know. It's definitely been recorded. It's on StreamYard, so it gets recorded straight away. So you'll have heard of that, so you'll know where I'm coming from. Yes, 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 yes. Good. Okay, so this is the angle that we are coming from. So, you know, it is not, you see, when you're doing things like an IVA or a debt management plan, you're actually making contracts with a third party, an outside influence, if you like. Do you know, Neil, in Australia, I've never checked the actual legislation, but I would bet it does, because there will be your version of it down there for sure. You know, because if you've ever seen anybody that's taken on an IVA, they are horrendous. You know, the thing is, and this is like what should give it away to everyone, IVAs have to be sold, and you have to buy an IVA. well, that should be like, you know, a complete sort of like red flag straight away. If you have to buy something like that, it's not in your benefit. To me, I just don't see it. So these, and I know a lot of like people who are in IVAs and they hate them and they're stuck with them, and you know, they're paying the one of the members, which is a while ago, like now, it's got to be like 2 years ago, he was paying nearly 400 a month into this IVA. And there was about £5 going to his debt, right? The rest was going to the IVA company. So who's it benefiting then? You know? And the same thing with like the debt management plans. The fees are all going to the actual the company that's running it. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, this is the actual scenario that we've actually you're looking at. So we're actually working on something that's way above that, but like is similar in a way. Okay. Yeah, exactly. The fees go to the thieves. You know, you're actually like getting robbed. And the thing is, right, when these IVA salesmen are working, they are selling you on your mishap, on your depression, on your bad situation. So they know that you know, you're in a bad place, so they're actually selling to take advantage of your bad place. You don't make the best decisions when you are in that, yeah, fear, Nicola, absolutely. And you don't make the best decisions when you're not thinking clearly. You know, you're concerned, you're worried, you've got fear, everything like that, you know. Oh, you're very welcome, Paul. Absolutely fine. And hopefully everything will work out for you, you know. But just keep in touch, and we'll move on, you know, when you need a bit more sort of like information as you progress through that situation for yourself. Okay. So there we go. So this is what we want to be looking at here. So there's Jules has got ones. You've got like £1 a month, I would presume. You know, and I don't obviously know who that's with, but we're not going to really go into that. You know, but the whole thing is like a lot of the ones that I've seen are like hundreds a month, and the fees are going to the IVA company or the DMP company, and that's how it actually works out. So I mean, I know that like some people say, well, that just gives me peace of mind, and this is what we're going to be looking at here. Now, everybody's different, and this is the thing you need to look at. I'm going to show you the method, and this is a remedy that you can all use, and you can use it for yourself now. The difference sort of like between an IVA is you're going to control everything. You're not going to be paying thousands off. Like, I mean, if you think about it, like 300-400 a month over all of that time, you know how much that will be at the end of 12 months, and then at the end of 5 years, 7 years, or whatever it will be. I've seen these written up for like a long time, not just 7 years, like going on for like 20 years. So it's not what you want to be in. So what we're going to show you is what you can actually control 100%. You're in charge of it all. You're running it yourself. You're managing it yourself. Now, what we're also going to show you is if you like this idea, how you can lawfully and legally, right, because it's going to be kind of in the public, use this for what we would call a sovereign enterprise, where you can actually help to either maybe even assist with your job just over broke, right, to help like funds, or you can even hopefully you could take it further and replace your just over broke. So that's what we're actually looking at. Okay. Yeah, 234 watching. That's good. That's the highest so far. Now, as we progress, like I said, the first part is going to be, this is what you actually do. This is how you can do it yourself. This is why it's legal. This is why it's lawful. This is how it works. These are all the guidelines under FCA. So, you know, none of this is made up. It's completely coming from the government websites. All right, we are using their rules that they have to follow, and that's the good thing. And the IVA companies and the DMP companies, these are the rules that they use as well. you know, so you know, they actually go and use these rules, put these presentations to the banks, to the debt collectors, to the institutions that we're going to be working with. So it's not right as if we've made this up. This is what gets used every day by the actual IVAs companies. We're just going to do it in a different way, and we're not going to be an IVA company. You're going to do it for yourself. So you know, we can't ask for any more than that. All right. So all right. So what I'm going to do is, what should I do first? Give me a look at I've got some documents I'm going to share with you. And then I have some slides that I'm going to share with you. And then I'll put them all together, and it's like different ones. Like I say, I just quickly check. All right. So what I'm going to start with, I'm going to go over the beginning of it. I'm going to show about the system, why it's legal and why it's lawful, just so that you can, you know, get that around it and not actually worry about, well, is this just like, you know, made up, and am I going to get into trouble for this? This is exactly what all of the IVA companies, DMP companies, whatever they are, the debt management plan people, the IVA people, when they're selling you these plans, they're selling them under these rules. So I'm going to share my screen here. Share screen. Let it come up there, get the window open. I think that's probably the right one. Fingers crossed. All right. So this is what we call the Captain's System, an advocate launch pack. All right. So let me have a look. Right. I'm not going to share that one now. I'm going to stop that one. I'm going to share that one after. All right. Just let me get the best one up for you. Why the rules follow it. That is the one that I want to show you. Make sure it's big, 180%. Yeah, that's it. Let me try that one again. Share screen. Why the rules support them. Yeah, there we go. All right, so let's share this one. So why the FCA rules support the captain's advocacy approach. Now I'm going to tell you from the beginning, right, when I'm calling it the captain, this is completely off the top of my head. I have literally created a character called Captain Alexander Dalrymple Smythe, or Smythe, not Smith, because it has a Y on it, so it's Smythe. Now that's a real, well, they are real. That was a captain in the Royal Navy. I was actually on their ship, HMS Bacanti. I thought for a little while there, maybe, but I mean, yeah, now it should be okay. I'm telling you that HMS Bacanti doesn't exist anymore now. Anyway, they sold it to the New Zealand Navy in the late 80s, so it doesn't exist anymore. It was a Leander class frigate. So anyway, why the FCA rules support the captain's advocacy approach and why it's legal. Tonight, we're addressing one of the most empowering and lawful strategies available to you in the battle against exploitive debt collection, the Captain's Advocacy Program, and we'll be grounding it directly in FCA rules, consumer law, and principles of equity. Let's begin with what matters most, your right to protect your health, your privacy, and your dignity. It's your right, while resolving your financial matters in a fair, transparent, and lawful way. What is the Captain's Advocacy Program? You, being the debtor, right? Or you know, if you're going to help someone else, then it'll be them, but you were allowed to do it for yourself. What you're going to do is you're going to sign a lawful power of attorney, or a LPOA, a limited power of attorney, appointing the captain, which is a pseudonym, which means a pretend name, which just means a character, which still is completely legal, and that is your proxy or your advocate. And they are going to communicate on your behalf. Why would you do that? Because it separates your personality from the actual character. Therefore, you can use the power of them, and it is not you that is going to be negotiating. It's not you that will be feeling as if you get rejected. You will feel the power of them because they can speak on your behalf, and they're not going to be attacking you. They're going to have to speak to the captain or anybody else that you want to create. But you know, the captain, as we say, like he was or still is real. I don't know if he's still alive, but you know, it's definitely a real character. Okay. Now, you're not going to give it over to an IVA company. They're not going to take charge of that and your finances. So you remain the individual that's responsible for the debt. You have to pay for it, right? That is what they actually mean by that. But you now operate through your appointed advocate, writing as the captain, but on your own behalf. So this is completely lawful under the Power of Attorney Act 1971 and equity and equitable principles. Your protected right to use a pseudonym or proxy, so long as you're not trying to deceive anyone. And you're not trying to get one over on anyone. You're not trying to lie about it. You're not trying to take money from anyone. You're just being you. You're just using the pseudonym and the proxy to actually deal with the situation on your behalf. So you're going to be transparent. The recipient always knows the communications come from you through your appointed advocate. So your advocate, the captain, he will be writing on your behalf, but the communications come from you. This is especially beneficial to protect vulnerable individuals, those that could facing serious mental or emotional health pressures. Now, why this is legally and ethically sound with FCA, Financial Conduct Authority backing. The FCA CONC rules which govern how debt collectors and creditors must behave are crystal clear. So this one particular, 7.3.4G, protecting affordability and mental health. It is unfair to pressurize a customer to pay in full or in large installments when they clearly cannot afford to do so. This clause supports everything that the captain's advocacy does. You are providing clear evidence of hardship through your incoming and expenditure sheet. We will show you that. Making realistic offers based on what you can afford. Taking steps to protect your well-being, exactly what the FCA demands creditors take into account. So they actually demand that they actually do this and help. Any collector that ignores this, pressures you for more, or dismisses your mental health situation as potentially acting unlawfully and breaching their regulatory duties. So CONC 7.3.5G, against misleading or abusive behavior. Firms should not mislead a customer as to the consequences of non-payment or take advantages of a customer's lack of knowledge, if that was only the case. This rule protects you from being gaslit or bullied if a firm tries to threaten court when they have no need of assignment, deed of assignment, demand more than you can pay, misrepresent your rights. They are in clear violation of this guidance. And that makes you use of a proxy advocate, the captain, a smart, defensive, self-defensive and lawful strategy. And it is not deception. It is simply smart and defensive. The negotiation path and why it works. What we're going to do is we're going to negotiate for yourself, but just using the proxy. So under the captain's advocacy, after a period of good faith payments, right, once you've agreed it, whatever it would be, £1, £2, £10, whatever, after 6 to 8 months, right, what we're going to do is you can lawfully make a reduced balance offer, right? So for example, I would say 5%. We've written here 20 to 40, but that's what they would be wanting. But, you know, I know that it's been done for way, way less. So I will be looking at doing it for 5% of the alleged outstanding balance. We know that the DCAs buy debt for pennies and will often accept such offers, especially when consistent payments have been made. So if you're paying £1 a month, for instance, as an example, and 6 months down the line, you've paid £6. Now, they're still business people. Like them, loathe them, whatever you want. Now, let's just say that the debt was like £5,000. So, are they going to just keep accepting £1, or would it be acceptable if it's £5,000? Then they've probably bought it for about £100. Okay. So if you're offering them something like 5%, you're going to be offering them about £250. So they're already doubled their money more than anyway, and they've got rid of you. Okay, so that's why that would work like that. So we know that they buy it for pennies. Again, it's not trickery, it's just normal common commercial practice. You're doing what they've been doing. It's supported by FCA, by treating customers fairly principles, a path out of debt with dignity, not despair. So what the law and the FCA say: principle, protect the vulnerable. What we're doing is we're using a proxy to reduce the stress and the mental health implications. Is it legal? Legally supported by the FCA CONC 7.3.4G. Right? Again, FCA principle: do not mislead or coerce. What we're doing is we are sending realistic, affordable offers where you're actually going to show them through your income and expenditure sheets. What is that covered by? FCA CONC 7.3.5G. FCA principle: respect your well-being. That means mental health. Well, that maintains what we're doing. The captain's advocacy is going to maintain an anonymity for health reasons, mental health reasons. So what is it covered by? Legal support, FCA, GDPR, and equity. Again, principle: offer a fair resolution. What the captain's going to do is seek fair settlement after compliance. Well, that's covered by is FCA principles and CONC. Right, the FCA does say you're allowed self-advocacy, so you're actually doing it yourself. So what you're doing, or the captain is doing, is they're going to write under the limited power of attorney in the proxy name, taking it away from you, as in your mental health issues. Right, what is that supported by legally? Lawful under the Power of Attorney Act and equity and the CPR rules. So this is not debt avoidance. We're not trying to do that. This is self-representation through lawful agency. This is protecting your mental health while fulfilling your obligations. And this is backed by regulation, ethics, and law. You are not pretending, you are defending. So if you've ever been told that using a pseudonym is deception or that making affordable offers is a weakness, tonight we've shown you that the law says otherwise. The captain's advocacy is equity in action, and equity will not suffer a wrong without a remedy. Let right be done. So I'm going to come back in, stop sharing there. All right, so really what we're going to be doing, if it's just you yourself, and I'm showing you how to do it for yourself right now, you're going to, I mean, I'm saying the captain, you can do what you want. You can use Bugs Bunny, right? The point is you're actually separating, you know, yourself from the actual debt. And then the let me just quickly Bob's in the chess tournament. How awesome is that? Okay, it is recorded anyway, so just like, look, it's recorded. It will be recorded for everybody. Now then, so as I'm saying, so all you're doing is you're actually going to use a proxy, and you can use whatever you want. Bugs Bunny, you know, whatever it is, Elmer Fudd, right? So I created the captain, who actually is a real captain. I don't know if it was Alexander, but it was definitely Dalrymple Smythe with a Y, not an I. All right. So literally what you're going to do, you've got a system, and I'm going to show you the classroom. I'm going to show you how to go through it. Now, at the end of it, I'm going to explain that in reality, right now, everybody's on here. You've got like nearly 250 people in here, and you could literally all, without even doing anything at all, go and copy this and do whatever you wanted with it. Now, all you got to do is just like listen to everything I'm going to say. You can copy everything that I'm actually going to tell you, and you can all do it yourself. Okay. But obviously, you're doing it yourself then, you're on your own. But we're going to also offer support, and I'm going to offer it to show you another way that you can actually turn this into a sovereign enterprise. So you can, lawfully and legally help others on an unregulated basis, because it will be unregulated. And there are companies doing this already. I know several in a very similar way. But I'm showing you how you can do it for yourself. So I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to say, oh, no, I'm going to charge you everything. Just look, there you go. And you can do all of this by yourself. Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do, I am going to share the slides. We're going to go over the slides now, and then open it up a little bit, and then I've got some more documents we're actually going to show, and then we're going to show the actual classroom before we move on to the way to turn it into a sovereign enterprise. Okay, so let me just make this full screen, put that into there. All right, very good. Okay. All right, so the captain's advocacy system, it is a lawful, equitable alternative to your debt management plans, IVAs and the DROs. So this is really going to replace them. Okay, so let me move on to the next one. Some of the lines are out of sync, but I couldn't be bothered to change it before we actually came on. So you're just going to have to enjoy what you see. So the captain's system, or whatever you want to call it and change it, it's a lawful private mechanism to protect individuals from unaffordable or unjust debts. So members appoint a financial advocate called the captain using a limited power of attorney. This approach keeps the individual in control without the risks and restrictions of the DMPs, the IVAs, or the DROs. So we know that the IVAs and the DMPs, they're actually getting sold to you. The DROs are a little even worse. But, you know, on the actual IVAs and the DMPs, it's taken away from you. The control is completely taken away from you, and it can cost a fortune. And most of it is all taken away by fees. You are not actually in charge of it. You know, the fees are getting paid to the DMP or the IVA company. So we're going to show you a way where you can avoid that. So what we're doing is, when we're saying, like, we've got the debt management plans, be that an IVA or a DMP, they've got massive high fees and they don't offer any legal challenge. They last for years and years, so they are very lengthy. They are binding agreements. Yes, you can break them, but then you can get into the arguments with it about contracts, etc. And they put your assets at risk as well. And they can keep selling no matter what. And I've seen it many, many times. They keep selling. Okay, so they'll sell the debt on and on and on. And also, they are also very public as well. And they can actually be shown in the public. So what a lot of them will do, they are simply salespeople. They will never question the legality of the debt or any unfair interest. They simply want their pound of flesh. And that's what they're going to do. And they're going to get it from you one way or the other. So what we do is we have a limited power of attorney. So we have a document, and the document itself has to be signed to make it legal. And it is a limited power of attorney. So you can literally give your power of attorney, or your attorney, you can give the power to another body. So you can give it to the captain, or you can give it to your next door neighbor, or you can give it to a family member. That's exactly how it works. And we will call them your financial advocate, and they legally represent you. They notify the creditors, they have a freeze the interest, and they prevent further charges. Now, what that means is, when they notify the actual creditors and the freeze their interest, to do it with notices. We send the notices, and then what they're saying is, stop contacting Fred, stop contacting Jim, right? Nobody contact them anymore. You all have to come and report to me. Any letters, correspondence, report to me. No more texts, no more phone calls, no more hassling, no knocking on doors. All of that disappears. So then your advocate, be it the captain or who else, handles everything. So that gives you peace of mind and relaxes you. Hopefully that will make sense. Then what they do is they actually deal with the creditors. So they freeze the interest. So there's no more hassle, no interest going up. And then what you do is you can actually move forward to make the agreements, but you're doing it with your proxy. So this system, right, it's built on legal pillars such as the UK GDPR, the Consumer Credit Act, and the Law of Property Act. These define how data assignments and enforceability must work. And we use as a highlight cases like Frischman v. Vaxil, strengthen the position where there is no legal title. And so literally that could mean if they wanted to push it, that there would be no enforcement. They would have no entitlement to enforce it. Okay, so we use that. I would say would use it as like a bargaining tool, saying, look, you know, we don't want to use this. We know we can fight this. However, right, what we're going to do is we're actually going to make an offer, and this is going to be the offer, rather than stop you point blank by using the Frischman versus Vaxil case, which proves to you, right, that there is no legally executed deed of assignment, therefore there can be no debt to you. But you can also use this on banks as well before you even get to a debt collector, using the Frischman versus Vaxil case. Now, what happens is you will sign the limited power of attorney. Then what that does is you will then empower the captain or whoever it would be. You empower them to be your financial advocate. And then what they do is they're going to send a formal notification, and it'll going to freeze a freeze request. Then we have what's called the I&E, which is the income and expenditure sheet. So I can see loads of questions coming in. Do you need this? Do you need that? Well, watch the presentation and you're going to find out. Okay. So yeah, we're going to create an income and expenditure sheet, but you're doing it, aren't you? Because you're helping to actually create the income and expenditure sheet. So how do you think you're going to create it? If you have got, you know, common sense, then what you're going to do is you're going to send off the actual introduction notice. You're going to say, look, freeze all of the interest on here. You have to deal with Captain Dalrymple Smith from now on. Do not write to Jimmy Jones. Leave them alone. No more texts, no more letters, no more hassles. Don't be knocking on the doors. And what we're going to do is we're going to get you an income and expenditure sheet. So when you're writing that out, you've got to make sure that you do it correctly so that you're actually showing them how much you can correctly afford. So remember, when you fill it in, you're not going to be putting down like, oh, well, I've got like Sky TV and this is what I do. And I have like, I can't remember, like the coffee shops, you know, when I spend 50 quid a month in them. You don't write any of that down, but you write it out in a way that it's showing them that your expenditure is all covered and you have very little left. Okay, so that is how you actually create the income and expenditure sheet, and we will be showing you how to actually do it. So you're doing it in your favor. In other words, you're doing what the banks do, but you're just doing it for you. Now, what you do with the document, the limited power of attorney, it grants your captain legal authority. And what that means is they've got the authority to act on your behalf. So what they will do is they will send letters to confirm that they now represent you. They're going to freeze all of the interest on you, and then we're going to show them the income and expenditure forms, and they will show affordability, exactly what you can afford to pay correctly and legally and lawfully. And they will show you the guidance sheets, and it'll help members to show exactly how to fill this in so that it's looking after you, not the other way around. Hopefully that makes sense. And what is that going to actually cost you? Well, nothing. That is all free. So how can that be any better? Now, the legal documentation under the Law of Property Miscellaneous Provisions Act 1989 commands recognition. So FCA rules require fair conduct. GPR violations risk sanctions. Case law shows weak legal title can collapse enforcement. So this isn't informal, it's lawful and enforceable. So we do actually bring that up and we show them, and that's why they must get into a position where they have to negotiate with you. Does that make sense? Now, compared to the DMPs, the IVOs, right? The captain system, it's free, it's flexible, and it empowers people without risking assets. Traditional debt schemes often impose huge fees. They are massive fees. They pay out, in fact, like I say, like the last ones that I saw, 99% of it goes to the actual IVA company. It wasn't even worth saying how much went to the actual debts. They're not getting anything, right? So what are you doing? You're actually not having any fees in it whatsoever. You're completely in control of it. And it's you helping through the name of the captain, and it allows any legal debt challenges, and it keeps the members in charge. You are in charge of what you are actually doing. Hopefully, where are we? That makes sense. Okay, so just remind yourself, all right? You're not powerless. Okay, the captain system, it's a tool, right? But it's not just a tool, it's a shield. And it's protecting you with the shield, and it's a voice where you can now have a voice that will actually argue. You have got a legal advocate there. And what we're doing is we're using statutes. We're actually using their laws against them. They can't argue with them. And this is the point. And remember, everything I'm talking about here is 100% legal, 100% lawful. There's nothing strange about it. There's nothing weird about it. You're just actually getting away. And it states in the FCA, everybody can actually do this. You do not have to have. Now, I know for a fact, right, there's far too many weirdos out there that are trying to take your money away from you. So there will be loads of people that are going to tell you, right, oh, you can't do that. You have to use an IVA company. You have to use a DRO company. You have to go and pay them. You have to pay us, right? Or we can do it for you and we'll charge you this. You don't have to use anybody. You can do this yourself. Now, remember, the whole aspect of what I've said from the very beginning was like, okay, everybody is different. Me, I'd rather point blank say, right, come on, I am going to get you into court. I am going to fight with GDPR. I'm going to use DPA 2018 against you. I can't wait to get you into a court. But everybody's not the same. And there's a lot of people that have been through the mill. They've got like mental health issues. They need some assistance. They need looking after. They don't want to go to court. So this here is a perfect way of you being able to do that, where you're still going to take control of the debt. You can reduce this. I have seen this get reduced. 100 grand debt being reduced to £1 a month. So what you're going to do is you are going to have the ability, if this is your choice, to use a system like this, right, to actually take charge of your finances, take charge of the debt cases, and relieve any stress, because you are going to be removed from it, even if it's just on a philosophical and an emotional level, because the captain's there talking to them, not you. Hopefully that makes sense. Psychologically, it makes a lot of sense. So, you know, what you would do is you would follow the onboarding process. The forms, right, they're all templates. They're all created for you. All you got to do is just complete it. There's placeholders. Hopefully you know what placeholders are, which got the details in. You just replace it, all right? And you are asking for help with, you know, completing your I and E, or the income and expenditure, and sending letters, right? And it will help you understand your rights. And then you will know that you can actually stand up for yourself. So what I would say is work with the affiliates. So there's like 240 people on here. If somebody has invited you, and you want to actually do this and you want to do it properly, then you should follow the system. Everybody can do it on their own. You've got enough information now that you could literally go and create everything that I've told you. You could do it yourself. All right. But if someone's invited you, I think you should go and use them to actually join the group, and then they can help you get this system rolling. And the good thing here is, right, I'm not even going to show you any to join. I want everyone else to show you a link so that you can join under them, because what we do is we actually help everyone. So if you join under their membership, then what they'll get 50% commission for life, forever, for as long as you're there. and then you can do the same, and you can get the same, and it can go on. So we're actually sharing the actual work. And then when the donations are coming in, we're sharing the donations as well. So if there is people that are in that are not in the group and you want to join, click one of the links so you can see that people are sharing in there. Then they are going to get like a commission for as long as you're in the group, and then they will help you get through and set this up. Then you can also do the same. You can invite your friends and whatever, and it goes on, and then you will get like a commission from their donations when they join. So literally 50%, which means 2 people join with you, you're free, right? A third one joins, we're paying you for you to actually be a member, and you still get all the information, still get all the support. We have weekly meetings every single Thursday at 7:30. We have like live meetings, Q&As, like going over everything, you know. So this is how it works. It is a family, and this is 100% supportive, so positive. You know, I mean, the people that are in it are all amazing with each other. Everybody helps each other. You know, I mean, I tell you what, just if you're in here and you're in the group, just put up some comments what you think of the group, what you you know, how friendly it is, how helpful it is, how supportive it is, you know, how honest it all is. And you know, and everybody's in there helping each other, you know. And I'm not trying to like say I'm anything or whatever like that. I'm not bothered, and everybody can do exactly what they want. But you know, I'm blown away every single day by, you know, the work that everybody does in the group, because they're all so helpful, and they all support each other, and you know, whenever there's a comment or a question, because they've got the, let's just call it a social media side, you can go into the community and post a question, and everybody can help you and comment on the question, and the support and everything. And honestly, a lot of love in there. It's amazing. So yeah, you know, I recommend everybody work with somebody else, as in go under somebody's link, click their affiliate link, you can all get joined in there, and we're gonna use the system. Okay, so just get me rid of that. I'll put that back in there. Let me have a look at the documents as well. We're going to share. So where's that image gone there? Oh no, I can't do that. I've got to share it, haven't I? Come on, Peter. All right, share my screen. Where'd it go? There. Window. There it is. All right, so like I say, everybody can copy this. All right, you can all do exactly what you want. Whoops, just trying to get it. Where'd it go? There we are. So the captain's advocacy, or whoever's advocacy, your own advocacy. What is it? Why it's legal, and how it can protect you. 100% legal. I mean, that's the good thing, right? It's not like, oh, I'm going to go and do this, you know, notice that I never have to pay anything ever again, and like I'm going to do a UCC1 and no one can ever touch me ever again. This is actually their rules, their laws, and that's what we're doing, and that's what we're using. So let's read this image here. So what is the captain's advocacy? A lawful way to manage debt stress-free, using a limited power of attorney, the LPOA, to appoint a proxy, e.g. the captain. And it's the captain that writes and negotiates on your behalf. Why it's 100% legal? Legal Foundation, Power of Attorney Act 1971. You can appoint anyone, even a proxy name, spell that wrong, to act for you. All right. Legal Foundation FCACONC 7.9.2R. Creditors must deal with your chosen representative. Legal Foundation Equity and Common Law. Proxy advocacy is lawful if no deception is involved. And you're not trying to deceive anyone because you're wanting to pay them, right? You're not wanting to go and fight them. You're not wanting to go to court. All you want to do is to actually set up a payment plan, but you're going to do it yourself rather than get sold by an IVA salesman. That's all it is. So you're not trying to do deception whatsoever, right? It's 100% lawful and legal. So again, legal foundation, GDPR and mental health law. This protects your right to privacy and your well-being. They must look after your well-being, your mental health. They have to take that into account. So what the captain does, sends letters, income and expenditure sheets, makes offers, protects your mental health and identity, negotiates fair repayment terms, and uses regulations, not emotions. What the captain doesn't do, doesn't pretend to be a lawyer. So if you're doing it for yourself, you're not going to pretend to be a lawyer or a solicitor or anything like that. Nobody gives any legal advice to anybody. This is what we've all done, so you can either follow it or not. You can copy us or not, right? They don't handle money, right? They're not taking charge of any money. It's got nothing to do with it. Even if you're doing it for someone else, even a member of family or anything, you're not going to handle the money. You're not going to be in charge of touching or seeing any funds or anything. Right? You're not going to do any court claims. You're not going to be filing. It's not going to go anywhere near a court anyway. Okay. So let me just move that up a bit. So in reality, all you're doing is you're using the captain to actually protect you. So let me come back in here. So does that make sense? Right? Before I move on to the next stage there, is everybody with that? You can see how this actually works. Is anybody sort of like struggling with that thinks I don't get it or anything like that? Cool. That's it. Sharing. Everybody's sharing there. That's good. All right. So I'm just going to put that up there to Javed. So he's just putting there, it's like a main concern is that if it went to court. Well, this is 100% not going to court. This is what this whole setup is for, right? The whole thing is to avoid court. Now, if you want to do it the way that I prefer, right, then we can go through the whole SRA process, jump into court, and we're going to get into court because I love it, right? But this is for people who don't want to do that. So this here avoids the court. And it's up to you which path you want to take. You use this path, the captain's advocacy path, then you've got rid of all of the worry for court. Okay, so decide what it is, which direction you want to go, and you've chosen it, and there we go. Okay, you get it, Hans? Brilliant. All right, that's what I like to see. Here's Darren. Darren gets it there. Look, see, brilliant. Okay, getting it. Is it a debt? Is it a debt? There we go, right? If it's a debt, you can do it. And the thing is, right, you can deal directly with the credit card companies or the banks before it's gone to debt collection, which is the difference between the GDPR path, right? Okay, yeah, if you want to go to court, you want to argue, it's great, do that, but you have to wait till it goes to collection. If you're going to do it this way, which is what the IVA companies do, it's what the DMP companies or whatever, even the unregulated ones, because there is unregulated ones as well that don't work with the FCA, right? What they'll do is they'll go and write straight to the bank and stop it straight away. So, and I was saying this on Thursday in a meeting, right? I mean, I have done this live, walked into my old Lloyd's bank account on Bridge Street in Blythe and just went, right, okay, we'll have to cancel this debt. So I have got like £1 a month that I can pay. So now I'm talking to the bank manager. You can't do that nowadays, can you? You know what I mean? You probably haven't got a branch, never seen a branch in years. But back then in the early 90s, there was branches. So I went in there and said, well, this is it. I can't pay that, right? It's going to be that £1 a month or nothing. You know, guy nearly had a heart attack, but he did it because he had no choice. You know, and he knows that he is, you know, under the guidance there. He has to follow, even back then, you know, whatever the rules would have been. And maybe it wasn't called the FCA at that time because they keep changing the names, right? Okay. You can negotiate court fines anyway, you know, and literally that is like setting up your own step change. This is the whole point. Step change is a scam. It is not a charity. Okay, it is a debt collector in disguise. You're just setting up your own step change, but you're doing it properly. Okay. All right, I'm just reading a few different comments just to see if there's anything specific. Again, you can do this with everything, you know, including council tax, you know, but it just takes a little bit more of a negotiation, but you can. And you can also write off arrears of council tax as well if you do the correct letters. So just bear that in mind. So that would be worth doing, wouldn't it? You know, that sounds okay. Okay, I think everything is fine. All right, I mean, what I'm doing, um, how do you sign the proxy letter? You would sign the the limited power of attorney the same way as you sign anything, sign a check, right? We don't do checks nowadays, but you know what I mean, just sign it. It's a normal signature. You're signing it, and you need to sign it because you're going to send a copy to the bank, the debt collector, the credit card company, whoever it is. So they're going to have to see that. Okay. All right. Now, what I'm going to do is, so, all right, I think everybody gets to see where this is going and what, let me have a look. Okay, yeah, that's the one I want. Is the captain system. There we go. So we've got some other slides to show you, as well as go over a couple of more documents, and then I'm going to show you the classroom as well for it. Or should I just show the classroom now? Maybe I should just show that now. All right, I'll do that. Share screen then. Okay. My throat actually sounds funny, by the way, because I had a coughing fit this morning. I think I breathed in some fluff from I think it's an alpaca hoodie, you know, like alpaca wool or fur, whatever you call it. I don't know. And I nearly choked myself to death. It was horrible. I just couldn't stop. So anyway, here we go. This is Checkmate the Matrix. This is our platform on school.com. And obviously they've got different things. Got the community. I'm not going to show you that now because it's got loads of different people's names on. We've got the calendar, which shows where we're having meetings. Where's a list of members? Map shows you where they live. Although they don't put it outside your front house, by the way, front door, by the way. They make it, I think, 10 miles away from where you actually live, so they can't go and stalk you. All right. But the classrooms, this is where we are. So these are all the different classrooms. This is our this is a debt chatbot, this one here, and it's amazing. This has been trained to use GDPR, DPA 2018, equity, all of the correct format for debt law. What it's not allowed to do is look on Google, make things up, but it is like pretty strict on what it's allowed to do. It's trained and it can't wander off in a different direction. We are going to get other chatbots which are trained in exactly how to handle car. What I mean by car, if we go down to the bottom, here we've got the smashing the parking, private parking parasites. I'm nearly finished with it, as well as an app. I was on a 2-day course just learning how to create these apps. Melted my brain, but I'm getting better. And it'll all be about how to smash the parking charges, not fines, by the way. All right, so that's what that app will be. And there will be specific apps that I am creating. But as you see, we've got loads of different ones. And we'll get down to here and we've got courtless debt defense. So whoever that was, it was asking, I'm worried about going to court. Well, that's what this is for. Not going to court, but you still have your debt defense. So we can go into here. There's videos going to be added in here as well. So step-by-step guides as well. And when we get down to the bottom, this is all the description, how it works, what's included in it. The videos will be added to actually how to complete everything. So on here, and you can download all of this under the resources, your limited power of attorney notice, your introduction letter, which the captain or whoever you're using will send, freeze interest. That's stopping them, the interest, and stop them talking to you. Income and expenditure sheets, how to actually do it there. And then also for the future, after you've done it for 6 to 8 months, how to make them an offer. So in other words, this is what the offer will be, 5% of the balance left, and then you can close this down. Okay, so this is where you will go. But again, this is the classroom. So all of the different classrooms that we've got on there. Okay. Stop sharing that. Come back in. All right. Let me just quickly look. Cool. All right. So what I'm going to do then, I am going to go and share the next set of screens. Let's get me out of there. All right, so Captain's Advocacy, a sovereign enterprise. So now that you can see that you can do it for yourself, why don't you start actually using it for a sovereign enterprise? What do I mean by a sovereign enterprise? Well, you can actually be helping others, and then you can actually create a sovereign enterprise. If you want to call it something else, replace your job, a just over broke. So you can actually be bringing in donations for yourself rather than having an income from a third party who can get like in a bad mood and sack you and get you, you got no just over broke or job to go to the next week. All right. So why not use this? You're still going to help people, but you're actually going to be helping yourself and your family at the same time. How does that sound? So why build a sovereign debt advocacy business? Although you wouldn't call it a business, or at least I wouldn't anyway. So what you're going to do, you're going to help people escape financial distress. So how good is that? You're actually going to be helping people with financial distress, but you can actually turn it into a sovereign enterprise. Now, what you do is, and like I say, I've already got like colleagues of mine that run these unregulated setups, and they do it outside of the regulations. So you don't have to be regulated, by the way. You don't have to be part of the FCA just to be able to run these things. As long as you make sure you're not giving legal advice, you're not giving financial advice, you're just acting on their behalf using the limited power of attorney. So what you could do is you could charge a setup fee. So if somebody come along and said, I want you to handle everything. I mean, I'm just made this out of the top of my head, 150. Could be anything. Could be £1. Could be £500. Right? Oh, I wouldn't do that. But, I'm just saying. So let's just say split the middle. I know people that charge $300 to $400 to do it, just to set it up, by the way. But just say, look, 150. Most people can do 150. What we'll do is we'll set it up for yourself. Now, when they do that, and they can actually pay you to be their advocate, You're going to do all the work. So you are the captain, in other words. So instead of being like Captain Dalrymple Smythe, it's going to be, you know, John Jones advocacy. And that's what it is. So you're going to actually be taking charge of everything. You're going to write all the letters. You're going to talk to all the debt collectors. You're going to handle all the correspondence. I hope that makes sense. So you are going to work for that, whatever you charge. Be like 150 donation, 200, whatever. You're going to work for it. All right. But then what I would say was like, you know, do that for the settle fee, but then you have to go and join the member. You have to become part of Checkmate the Matrix so we can keep in touch on there. You can actually go into the meetings. You can see what we're actually doing. We'll show you what the system we're using so you know what it is. And then you're also going to get 50% commission on that member being in there for lifetime, for as long as they're in there. Okay? And it is recurring income month after month after month. It's not just a one-off thing. How good is that? So how it works, step by step. What we're going to do is if you set up your own sovereign enterprise, so you can create posts, you can actually go and, you know, start doing TikTok posts, YouTube posts, Facebook posts, X, Twitter, what, you know, what it's called now, Instagram, whatever it is. And I see hundreds of them, we get thousands and thousands of views. You onboard them as a debtor, you explain the system, right? You get them to sign the limited power of attorney. So now you are their attorney, legally and lawfully. You do that one-off 150 onboarding fee, okay? And there's your document, and then you do all of the work. Just remember, you're not getting it for nothing. You've got to do all the work after that, okay? So bear that in mind, all right? Then you tell them, now you've actually paid that, what you've got to do is you've got to enroll in Checkmate. So they sign up to Checkmate under your link, okay? It's actually in dollars, okay? But it works out roughly at 50 a month, but it's in dollars, it's 65. That's misspelling there. So you get that 50% of that every month for the whole of their membership, all the time. Now, what they do is you're going to do all the work. You're going to do the letters. You're going to actually write the templates out for them in whatever name you don't even have to use your own name. Okay, you can use a different name. It doesn't matter. So you're going to gain monthly donations all the time. You're getting 50% of everything on there, right? But you're also going to have to do, like for the setup fee, their paperwork for them as well. So, got to remember what you are and what you are not. What you're going to do and what you're not going to do. I was going to change this, but then I thought, oh, I need to take the mix and just leave that on that bloody mask. So I couldn't be bothered to change it. I thought, nah, I'm going to let everyone go wound up by the mask bit. I did. So anyway, what you're going to do, you are a lawful advocate and you're going to act under the limited power of attorney. You're going to help submit the strategic correspondence, which is all the templates that we have. And you're going to support realistic repayment. In other words, what you are both going to decide that they can afford. And you're going to educate them as well. And once they're in the group, remember, just think of all the education they're going to get in the actuary group. Okay. Now, you're not a regulated professional. You don't have to worry about that. You do not give legal advice. You do not manage or touch anybody's money. It's nothing to do with you. They're going to be paying the actual £1, £2, £10, whatever it is. All right. And you are not a solicitor. You're not worried about that. You're not FCA licensed advisor. All of that. And it's not required either, by the way. I know a few people that are already doing this, and it is 100% legal. You're operating under equity and data protection law. All right, just like financial self-defense, Stephen, from there, well, if you're in there, a lot of you will know because I've introduced you. If you were at Checkmate the Matrix live in February this year, then you'll have met him. Great speaker, great presenter, and he does this. This is what he does. So if you think, okay, you can earn, all right, let's just say you get 10 clients, so like 150. So, well, I mean, I'm making this up, by the way. It can be whatever you say. I'm just trying to like give you ideas. I'm not telling you like on a Bible what you have to do. You know what I mean? Like, you know, give me a break. But you know, just say it's 150. You bring in 10 clients. You've got 1,500 up front, and then you've got well, it is pounds that I've worked it out. 25, right? So then you're going to get 250 a month ongoing. All right, but if you double that, so you've got 20 clients and then 3 grand up front, and then you've got 500 a month, and it's every single month, by the way. Okay, so as people saying that I can't afford the monthly repayment, go get, if you get 2 people to actually join with you, then you're not paying anything. I'm sorry, but you know, come on. So if you've got 50 clients, right? So you've got 150, that's 7.5 grand you got up front. So you've got 25 people paying at 50 a month. Sorry, £25, like 50 of them, and that's like £12.50 a month that you're actually getting every single month, not just once, right? Every single month, going on and on and on. And you're going to be doing all the paperwork. So if you are good at doing the paperwork, you like doing that, you're actually helping people as well, and you're working against these. Someone's just put it up. Where has it gone? Reptilian debt collectors. Look, Chrissy, funky junkie, right? Just showing you. So you're going to help people to fight these reptilians. So how good is that? This is how you can actually set up your own sovereign enterprise. So you can actually do this for people. Now imagine, right? Now I know you've got people who are always going to complain. There is always someone, no matter what. Okay. I mean, this is a free webinar. You know what I mean? If it was £1, there would still be somebody at the end of the day would say, I want a refund. Yes, there is. You know, and the thing is here, right? This is a way where you can actually help people. Now, imagine the debt management people. Imagine the IVA people. They're going to be charging £200 to £300 to actually get set up, and they're going to get nothing. They are going to be ripping them off. And they, say, for instance, you're paying like £250 a month. 249 of that goes to the IVA company every month, and the pound goes to the bloody debt. Okay. So this is the actual, you know, and like I said, not everybody wants to go to court and fight. You have to think of others. You can't just think of yourself. I mean, I love doing it, right? But I know that other people are terrified, or they just haven't got like the need for it or the want for it, you know? It's like, I mean, I was a professional fighter for years, man. It's like I've had so many broken bones, so many like broken faces and broken noses and splits and cuts. You know, like concussions and stuff. But not many people want that. Do you know what I mean? Not many people think, well, I'm not going to get punched in the face every week. You can sod off, right? But I used to love it. But everybody's different. So, you know, this way you can actually help the people who do not want to either, well, get punched in the face or go to court. All right. This is the other side. And this is how you can actually help people that don't want to do that. And it keeps them away from them bloody IVA salesmen. I hate them IVA salesmen. And this is noble work. This is you really helping mankind, right? So you are helping people, whereas you've got people like the IVA or the debt management plan, and they're the same as the debt collectors. They exploit people, they take their money, they trap them in long contracts where they're getting like hundreds of pounds every single month, and they're getting the fee. Right, what you're going to do is you're going to empower people. You're not advising people, you're not giving legal advice. What you're doing is you're actually helping them, and you're going to be holding a hand. You're doing it with them, and you're getting them into the actual checkmate the matrix. So you're going to be part and building up the family. You're going to become family with them. So what you're doing, if you can actually create your business by actually helping others, you're going to help with your own freedom moving forward, and you're taking care of your own affairs, because what they do is they treat us all like impotent, imbecilic little children. And what you have to do is you have to take charge and say, no, I am not. What I am is I am a man or a woman, and I handle my own affairs. So I bring in my own donations. I bring in my own financial systems. I do not allow a job just over broke, or a boss that can be in a bad mood one day and not want you to come back to work forever, or whatever it is. So you are building up and uplifting the community. You are helping the actual brotherhood or mankind, and you can actually do that in a noble way and still replace maybe a job. Or it could be that just like, you know, whatever it is that you're doing, and this can actually help you on your journey. And that's just a fantastic way of doing it. I just think there's nobody could worry about doing something for somebody else, helping others, and then you can actually get a little bit of financial assistance for doing so. And everything should be done with an exchange. Everything should be done with an exchange. Okay. Just take this away from there and put that back in there. All right. So hopefully, okay. The Kweku, the membership, I shouldn't call it membership. Don't be on a ship. Although I'm showing the captain on a ship, but it's his ship, not ours. Right? It's what do you call it? It's in dollars, unfortunately, but it works out. It's the same as what it used to be in pounds. It's 50 a month, and then obviously, like I say, you know, you can get 50% commission of anybody that you actually get to join. So there's people there, like the exchange rate goes up and down. So, but it is it's set in dollars because it's an American company. All right, so it's roughly about 50 quid anyway. Okie dokie. So now, I think, let me have a quick check. I did them and I did them. And I did the image as well. So I've covered basically everything on the system. So if you want to use this for yourself, you can use this for yourself. Okay. And you've got this set up and you're using the captain system. So you can go and join, get under somebody else's link there, get into the actual membership, or you can sit and copy the entire thing yourself just from what I've told you. And everyone can do that. You don't have to pay anybody anything. You can literally take the whole idea I've just given you. It's 100% legal. It's 100% lawful. You can do what you want with it. I've shown you how to do it. All you got to do there is go and sit and say, right, okay, let's go and create a power of attorney. Now let's create an income and expenditure sheet. Right, let's create a letter that we can write to the debt collectors or the bank to negotiate on actually how to, what do you call it? Reduce the fees. And then just go on to not YouTube, go on to Google. And when you go on to Google, you can just start Googling FCA regulations. And under the FCA regulations, you can actually work out which ones you can use to go in and actually create the negotiation. So you can do it all yourself. It's all there for you. You can go and do that 100% now. And I'm not bothered if you do. Good luck to you. Get on with it. You know, it's not going to harm anyone. But if you want to do it and you want support and you want to get like more education as you're going along and sharing knowledge, then you can go in and join. Not from me. Go and join someone else. Use someone else's link. Go in there and you can become a member, and then also they can actually help you work together, get on the regular meetings, and then all of the classrooms there laid out on. You don't have to invent anything yourself. All of the documents are on there as well. And also, what I'm going to add on to the actual classroom is how to actually create it as a sovereign enterprise, so you can actually build up your own, instead of having a job, then you can have a sovereign enterprise and be pushing forward on that way. Okay, so with that part in mind, I'm not answering any questions about like birth certificates or anything else like onto there, or how do we like, you know, get rid of like other systems. But if you've got any questions on that or want to say anything like that, let me know and we'll go over it now. Okay, we've got 10-15 minutes before I have to shoot off. it's quite a nice night. We're going to get Mouse out, hopefully. There was people partying. Was it last night, the night before? But noisy, jumping around, and he's nervous, so we can't get him out when it's noisy outside. Okay. All right. So let me have a look. Let's see if there's any questions. So if you are, look, get your links shared in here as well. So if you see a link, you want to join, click on one of these links. No, unfortunately. Okay. Oh, there's something there, you can do. You can use the, in reality, Darren, right? You could use the captain to send all the SCRs right the way through. Okay, you could do that. Yeah. And part of it, we do mention it, by the way, the system that we've devised for this, we're not letting them off with anything. What we're saying is in the system kind of is, we know this. So you can either work with us and we'll get a negotiation going on for a payment that's affordable, or we're going to start arguing about where's this legal title. It kind of says that in a very, like, how would you put it? In a way where we're not fighting. Well, like, this is the art of fighting without fighting. Yeah. So we kind of say, by the way, all right. What does that say there? Is the credit score company's example experience against GDPR as they hold your data? Yeah, you want to send all of them an SCR. Right. So Daryl says, do you use the client's address or my address? So you can use whatever you want. So what you can do, you can actually get a business address. So I wouldn't use Ghostmail. I used to use them all the time for everything. They were very good. Then they started to get antisocial. So I would use a different one. I can't remember the name of it now, but I've got one. It's way cheaper than Ghostmail. And you can have, for one payment, you can use it for 10 addresses. And you can use it for your private trust, your limited company, your own name, your wife's name or husband's name, right? It's brilliant. Can't remember the name of it, but like, if you message me in the group, I'll send you the links for it as well. They're very good. It's in Carmarthen, and the guy is called William. But yeah, so if you were doing it, Daryl, like for somebody else, and you wanted it to go to that business address, then you could get it all sent there, and then they'll forward it to you. I think you can even just get them to email it, but whatever. And then so it gets that barrier, doesn't it? You are more than welcome, Vic. Very happy that you enjoyed it. Let's put that open today. What's that say? I know you got something brewing in the mortgage department. I've taken my provider to court twice after having proved that there's no legal or valid deed in place. Next, I'm issuing a PCP against them. So we'll be keen to hear progress. Yeah, I will let you know, because I think Chris is on the call tonight as well, and we've got some, or he has some meetings that are coming on with the solicitors that have had fantastic. I know solicitors, but sometimes they're on your side, and this one is. So this woman, Joanna Connolly, is brilliant at GDPR, CCA, and FCA, and part of it now. And she's actually having a look at all of our paperwork and everything for the mortgage. So I will definitely keep you up to scratch. Everybody, obviously, with that. Okay. What's that say? Is this approach the same for a bank overdraft and the charges on the overdraft? Only if you close the bank account, because it's an ongoing situation, isn't it? So, I mean, I've been in that situation myself, and I just closed the bank account. So I'm not coming back. Had a new bank account first, obviously. And then they just went, right, well, this is a debt now. And they sold it to a debt collector. And before you even sell it, look, there you go. I'm sure that looks, is that Williams, Craig? I'm sure that's it. I'm sure that reminds me of that. And that's in Carmarthen, isn't it, in Wales? The guy who handles all of your inquiries is called Williams. Very friendly, very supportive, and just got. I tell you what, just just go in and tell him. Say, look, I've been told to come here by Peter Wilson. So because he'll look after you. He will. So hopefully, everybody take a screenshot of that, and then I'll give you another couple of minutes, and then I'll get rid of it. All right, 20 more seconds. Get a screenshot of that, people, and that's who to do it to. And speak to William, and just say, yeah, Peter Wilson said, come along, and this is, and it is good. I'm telling you. I mean, for the price of it compared to Ghostmail, and they were great when I first started. And then they just got a really antisocial, and then started being awkward and actually quite nasty to people. So these ones are great, and it actually says you can have your private trust with that address, whereas like Ghostmail, they literally pee their pants. Oh no, you can't have a private trust. What's Javed saying? I saw your video on YouTube initially. I would prefer to use GDPR. Me too. An SCR and not have to pay any of the debt. Does joining the group help facilitate that? 100%. I mean, go into the group. Not only will you see the whole system, exactly how to, and there's like videos on how to do it. All the templates are there, step by step. But everybody's always talking about it. Links for what? Is it that for like what we just showed you for that? Is that what you meant, or is it for the group? Yeah, so there we go. Best value for money. The group. There we go. Business address company. Yeah. There it is again. I'm going to show you one more time. That one. That's, oh, didn't go on. There it is. That's the business address. Okay. I'm presuming that you mean like Chris Pamelli, who we're, because someone else is saying, how do I contact him? So he's in the group. Get in the group and you can message him directly. Chris Pamelli. He's on here tonight. Well, hopefully you've got that now, Martin. I don't think they actually charge monthly. It's a one-off fee. I'm pretty sure. But speak to them. Speak to William. Okay. It's got nothing to do with Companies House. You can use, it's got nothing to do with them. What we're talking about is having an address that we can use for being the advocate. All right. What's that? I'm waiting on my SEO reply from Birmingham Midshires. Good. Right. Glad you enjoyed this session. Glad. Hey, there you go. So there's the legend himself. All right. Yeah, let's just mention that. So obviously, Graham's in there, and I'm just talking about everyone because I'm humbled. I'm like taken aback how helpful and how great everybody is in the group. Okay, every single day there's like people helping each other, supporting each other, so kind, so positive, right? There's no silliness, there's no arguments, there's no ego, there's no ridiculousness, all right? But we have got our conference coming up, and it's in the first weekend. It's in a bank holiday weekend anyway, and it's in Newcastle upon Tyne. I'm sure it's the first weekend of May. It's going to be a 3-day event, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and there's going to be so much going into it. Honestly, and it's like I'm telling you, Checkmate the Matrix Live 2026. Very soon you're going to start to see stuff coming out for it, links coming out for it. So, and it's the place to be, I'm telling you. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. Cool. Seeing as on Richard Vos, doing well, learning. That's what we have to do. I'm speaking to Mark today, actually, funnily enough. But no, I don't think I'm at his event in Ireland. I've got an event coming up in Ireland, but not with Mark. No. There, Margaret's putting her link out. Look, see. You can use Ghostmail if you like, but I find the other people a lot better now. But you can, of course you can. Get you fired up. Cool, that's what I want. Yeah, well, you are more than welcome. Glad you enjoyed it. Oh, there we go. What's that say there? So look, 12-month standard 78, and that's for mailboxes. But you can have 10 addresses, or can't you? I know for a fact I've got 10, so I'm pretty sure that's probably what it is. Look, and it was it from Craig. Checkmate the Matrix Live 2025 was amazing. That's what we just had. And, you know, I'm telling you, 2026 will be even bigger, even better. And, you know, it's going to be, I'm sure it's the first weekend in May. It's a 3-day event. We had 2 days this year, and it's probably, and that was hard. So it's going to be even harder for do 3 days, but to hell with it. Why not? You know? That's nice. That look, see, you know, it's unlike no other group. What energy you have in here, right? Yeah, thank you, and thank you for being part of it, because it's all a family, and I agree. By the way, you know, so it's got nothing to do with sort of like an individual or me or anything. The positivity and the help and the assistance that everybody is in there is just incredible, you know. So yeah, and I agree 100%. Right, so that's what you're gonna do. Is you should put like, we should get a T-shirt actually. I think we need either baseball caps, a T-shirt, or maybe both. You know. So what's that say? Love an answer to my question. Can I use the no court system even though I'm in the middle of the Jeep? Yeah, stop. Of course you can, Josephine. Stop it, right, and replace it with that system. And if you know, yeah, of course you can. Absolutely. And do you know what? If you did that, I tell you what, they're probably going, "Oh, thank God for that. This Josephine's driving me nuts. Now she's going to stop asking for, like, she's going to actually pay us some money. Yay!" You know. So the yeah, definitely. UK PO box. Yeah, it is free, but it also says PO box on it, so you don't want that. You don't want that at all. All right. So brilliant. Oh, I'm glad you liked it. What's that say there? Can you also, what's that say? You can also use all outside of England, for example, in Europe. Can you use it? Oh, well, I mean, I don't know. You know, all the different countries. I would have to. I would have to have a look. There we go. All right, you got different levels of that mailbox thing. I have no idea. I got the minimum. Because you don't need any more than there, you know. You can sort out a deal for merch. All right, we'll have to speak then, Daryl, because like we're gonna need to start being able to show everyone we're part of something. Yeah. Yeah, definitely a great community. And I mean that for everyone, you know what I mean? It's like a magic glass. It just does it by itself. You know what I mean? This is my weekend out, so I can, yeah. Okay, merch switch. I'll have to get that link. I'll have to watch this myself so I can get that. Actually, let's write that down. Or witch, WITCH. I like witches.com. Let's have a look at that later. Thank you very much, Daryl. What's that say? I love going to court. Yeah, I like when the solicitors look at me and think it's going to be easy. It's cool, man. It's so wicked. How's Mouse? He's okay, you know. And we're going to take him out soon. Going to get out now. It's still late enough. Hopefully it's quiet. He was panicking, and everyone was having barbecues the other night. Can it be used for PCN? Yeah, no, it can, but in a different way, right? We would have to specifically say that. And obviously, if it's council, it means like what, a parking ticket type of thing, or it could be like a tunnel charge or any of them kind of crap. But I am actually working on a whole classroom for council PCNs. We've got them brilliantly for what do you call it, private, yeah, but what's that say? Yeah, I've got a classroom, but it's for private. Okay, see you later then, Jenny. You take care. It's my first time doing this, and I don't mind saying I'm not very confident. I'm doing what, Susan? What is it that you're doing, by the way? Do you mean like fighting the debt, or because this is a different way of doing it completely. This is brand new, like this is, it's not brand new because I've got companies that I already know that do this, but I'm showing you a way of being able to do it yourself and not having to pay them. But then you can even set yourself up as like a sovereign enterprise and help others. But what do you mean? But it's the first time you're doing, as in? Okay, see you later, Graham. You take care, and there's your link if anyone wants to join on a Graham. It's like Robert, he's fighting the getting in with the ombudsman. Let us know how that goes. Oh, there's Paul on. Hi, Paul. How you doing? Glad you enjoyed it, mate. We're over time now. We're well over time. Okay, so there we go. All right. Well, hopefully that has given you a lot to think about and a lot to work with. This is recorded. Everyone's going to get a recording, or at least it will be available anyway. If you're in the group, it's going to be put in the group. I'm going to put it on the face and YouTube as well. So everybody, it'll be there. Okay. Now it's there for everybody. You can all just go and do it yourself now, or you can learn in the group how to do it and also have support while you're doing it. Okay. And fingers crossed that you've enjoyed it. I think most people certainly have. So we will say good evening and goodbye. All right, and take care, and look after each other and look after yourselves. And we will see you all very, very soon. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Dave, and everybody else. And hopefully, be love to the North Sea. I will. Yeah, I will. But I don't know if we'll actually get down the beach because he's been liking walking around the estate at the back there, away from the beach at an evening. He likes getting down there in the morning. He likes running on there in the morning. Okay, cool. All right, you take care, everybody, and fingers crossed that if anybody wants to join or whatever, do whatever you want and look after each other. All right, and it'll have a good time with it and learn. Hopefully, you've been able to learn something. Cumbria is the best part. We're going there soon, actually, Toby, because Janine's auntie lives over in Cumbria, and we're going over there for our 90th birthday at the end of this month. All right. Anyway, thank you. See you all soon. Take care. The recording will be going up, so everyone will get it. All right. See you. Bye bye.